This is midday in Bangui, Central African Republic, and time for essential African information. Good afternoon and welcome. The headlines for this edition carries the Minister of Finance, Luis Paul Motaze, yesterday disclosed the state of the 2021 budget for the country while officiating a ceremony in Ebolowa to officially disclose the country's budget. Uganda may partake in their upcoming presidential election in an internet blackout after reports that the country's communication regulator on Tuesday ordered internet service providers to shut down social media and the messaging applications. And on to sport, Cameroon will host the CHAN 2021 games come January 16, 2021, with 3 cities acting as hosts to the 16 countries that will partake in these games, even though fans and football lovers are questioning if the country is ready. This is what we will be developing in a moment. Stay tuned. Good afternoon and welcome back. The Minister of Finance, Luis Paul Motaze, yesterday disclosed the state of the 2021 budget during an official ceremony in Ebolowa to launch the public investment budget for the country. The launching of the 4,865.2 billion francs CFA budget carries uncertainties if the budget will be successfully executed in Cameroon. This, the minister blames on the security concerns in the country and, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Minister Luis Paul Motaze, 100 million francs CFA is kept aside to the National Solidarity Fund to fight the spread of the coronavirus pandemic, and over 200 billion will be disbursed to accelerate decentralization in the regions. 50 billion is to support farmers in the production and transformation of agro-pastoral products. The crisis on Northwest region has been allocated 145 billion francs CFA for 3 years. Onto the Southwest region, the Minister of Transport, Jean-Ernest Massenengale Bibe, ended a 2-day working visit to the Southwest region yesterday in preparation for the upcoming African Nations Football Championship CHAN. In a meeting with members of the Transporters Syndicate and, of course, Taxi Drivers Union in the region, he emphasized on the importance of exercising diligence throughout their transport duty during the period of the CHAN Games. Minister Ngale Bibe visited the Limbe Omnisport Stadium and the Limbe Presbyterian Printing Press, where vehicle identification documents are printed. He was keen on making sure that the CCTV security cameras have been installed, as he overall remark was satisfactory. Ahead of January 16 games, CAF's President Omar Constant was received at the Yaoundé-Simalène Airport yesterday, January 12, by the President of FECAFOOT, Seydou Mbombo Joya. Cameroon Anglophone crisis, army and separatists blame themselves for the Mautu massacre in the Southwest region. According to various sources, several civilians were killed on January 10, 2021 during a clash between the military and the secessionist fighters. The following report from Sandrine Doumbé tells us more.
As of this writing, information remains unclear and contradictory about what really happened last Sunday in Mautu, a town in Muyuka Ward, Fako Department in the Southwest region. Unbearable images have been circulating for several hours on the web, showing victims of what is presented as a new massacre of civilians. Monday, 24 hours after the fact, the Ministry of Defense released a statement in which it rejects the charges against the military. We learned that the preventive raid led by the elements of the 21st Motorized Infantry Battalion in a separative camp in Mautu took place in strict compliance with the rules of engagement. The senator of this press release, Captain Cyril Serge Atonfak, head of the Communication Division of the Ministry of Defense, adds that the images in circulation were designed by the secessionists with the aim of getting the defense forces to endorse an indiscriminate massacre. Finally, the statement said an investigation has been opened to shed light on these horrific images which shock public opinion. According to local media, media sources, these people, including children and women, were killed during a clash in a separatist camp between the army and the insurgents. Some sources put forward the thesis of a new military blunder. Meanwhile, the French diplomatic representation in Yaoundé is protesting against these barbaric acts committed against civilians, which characterizes a particularly murderous start to the year in Cameroon. France has not remained insensitive to the notorious violations of human rights in Cameroon perpetrated against civilian populations last weekend in southwest and far north regions. In two messages published on its Twitter account on Monday, January 11, 2021, the French ambassador in Cameroon strongly condemns these two dramatic events. First, the attack on the locality of Maoutou, southwest region, resulting from a bloody clash between Cameroonian defense and security forces and secessionist rebels, resulting in 8 deaths. France also calls for shedding light on this unjustifiable crime, which the army cleared beforehand through its spokesperson, the captain of vessel, Cyril Sech Atonfak, in a press release published on Monday evening, despite the charges against her. Also, the French diplomatic representation was moved by the attack perpetrated on Friday, January 8, 2021, by armed bands of the Islamic sect Boko Haram in the locality of Mozogo, far north, which claimed the life of 12 people. The killings marked a particularly dead start to the year in Cameroon, and particularly in English-speaking regions, with the attacks in Bangui, northwest region, Matazem, northwest region, or even Okondo Titi, southwest region. This situation is reminiscent of similar experiences, the killing of civilians on February 14, 2020 in Gabo in the northwest region.
On to Uganda. Uganda may partake in their upcoming presidential elections in an internet blackout. This comes after reports that the country's communication regulator on Tuesday, January 12, ordered internet services providers to shut down social media and messaging applications. According to reports from Reuters news agency, of course, the Ugandan Communication Department and Commission, that's the UCC, Executive Director Irene Sewankambo ordered telecommunications companies to immediately suspend any access and use of social media and online messaging platforms, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Signal, and Viber. It should be recalled that at the start of the week, Facebook said it had blocked accounts that were linked to the Ministry of Information and Technology as part of measures to avoid election propaganda. Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera decreed 3 days of a national mourning after 2 members of this cabinet succumbed to COVID-19 on Tuesday. Local government minister Linson Belekenyama and the Minister of Transport Mohammed Sidiki Mia died in the capital Lilongwe. The two are the highest-ranking public officials so far to succumb to the virus in Malawi. We have entered the eye of the pandemic, Chakwera said during an address to the nation on Tuesday, January 12 afternoon. He said the government was considered declaring a state of emergency. Malawi has recorded 9,027 cases and 203 fatalities. The South African nation has confirmed 1,500 cases in the last 14 days alone. On Tuesday, the presidency said it was cutting visits to the State House to ensure the president's safety. Local daily, the nation reported. Weekly press briefings have also suspended. In October, the president faced criticisms for not wearing a face covering when he met with Tanzanian counterpart John Magufuli during a 3-day official visit to the East African country. This month, Chakwera was also criticized after he was seen without a face mask and shaking hands with American singer Madonna at his state residence in the capital, Lilongwe. Cameroon will host the Chan 2021 Games come January 16, 2021, with 3 cities acting as hosts to the 16 countries that will partake in these games. Less than 4 days to the commencement of Chan, sports fans, citizens, and the population of the littoral region have laid complaints about less or zero communication about the games report. With magistrates in the economic capital Douala, which hosts 2 of the stars that will witness the playing of the Chan Games empty, with no placards, signboards and posters about the upcoming games, civilians are barely unaware that the major event is commencing in less than a week. Streets are dirty. Vendors of jersey and flags with other materials, mostly used during these games, are complaining of government's fragile attitude in communicating properly about the games. In recent years, the Lions used to be the choice of the people, and people could sacrifice anything and everything just to watch them play. The situation is different this year as the country hosts the Shan Games. Fans are complaining of disappointment from the national team and are also blaming the authorities for not caring about the citizens' needs, reasons why zero efforts have been made so far to alert sports fans of the commencing of the game. For others, even though sales of jersey and other materials are not yet evident, once the Lions impress their fans, the coin will flip.
The Chan going to start, and for now the sales of the jersey is not all that moving. So we are waiting when it will begin. They will know on how what to buy. Yes, because the nation has so much disappointed the citizens in their out place. So they are still waiting when they will perform well. Then they will have to need their jerseys. I'm very prepared because when it begins, I will just start to sell the jersey of the Lions.
Is the country really ready to host the games? This is the question that many are asking, as the Lions have not been applauded by fans and football experts during their preparatory games, coming last on the classification table with just a point. At the reunification stadium in Bepanda, Douala, Cameroon, works are still ongoing. Roads leading to the stadium still remains narrow and untarred. Trash litters the area with traffic consuming the road.
With the Shan Games coming up in barely 5 days, citizens of the economic capital Douala are calling on all the authorities led by the Cameroon government to, of course, do something about the communication of the Shan Games. Of course, they are calling on the authorities to clean the town. They are calling on the authorities to make it more publicly because they count so much on the Lions. For Reflect Africa Television, I have been Promise Fosu with Abdul Salam.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is on that sports note that we leave you for this midday edition. Thanks for staying tuned. The news was compiled by the entire English desk, and for presentation, I have been Promise Fosu. Thanks and stay blessed.